There are different types of reading levels that I want you to be aware of as you're teaching your child. The first one is independent reading. Now, that is almost like it sounds, where they can take something and go read it independently without help. You'll know it's independent if they can read it with 95% accuracy or more, meaning out of 100 words, you maybe help them with 5, no more than 5. Obviously, a kindergartner is not going to be reading 100 words on a paper. So say there's 20 words, type it into your calculator. If you had to help them with 5 words, that's not independent, okay? So independent means very little help, but some. You can give them a book and they go sit down and they read it, and every once in a while, what is this word? And you help them. It's actually really important that when they gain enough skill and they have books that they have read before, that you allow them and encourage them to have a short period of time that they read independently. Now, I'll warn you, at first, kids don't like that. It's actually helpful to have mom close when they're learning a new skill and they need that emotional support. So that's super helpful. So a lot of kindergartners in the beginning are not going to be super thrilled to go sit down and read something. However, when you see your child being able to read things and they've read it numerous times and they go to read it to daddy, or they read it to grandma, or they read it to a friend, and you see that confidence blooming in them and they see that they can do it, encourage them. Have a stack of books that they have basically memorized and encourage them to go have 5 minutes. Go get your books that you can read on your own and go read for 5 minutes. Okay, that's a really good thing to do. Now, the next level of reading is instructional reading. And that's what you do with your child every single day for about 20 minutes. That's about how long you should read with your kindergartner. So that means if you're doing the sounds and the rhyming, the syllables, the segmentation, the beginning and middle, ending, beginning, ending, and middle sounds, all of that should take about 20 minutes. Now, once you've moved on to that and you're into blending and sounding out words again, it's still about 20 minutes of instructional reading. Now, instructional reading means that they can't do it on their own. However, it doesn't mean that you help them with every word. Instructional reading is between 90 to 95% accuracy. That means they're able to read a lot of it, but they still need help with some of it. Okay, so you're giving them aid and support. If you're helping them with every other word, you have passed independent reading level, you've passed instructional reading level, and you are now into frustrational reading. That is the level of reading you don't want to get to, but you will. Most people do. When you get there, do not despair. Take a step back. You've gone too far, and your child needs more practice with what they did before. So you will see frustration in many different ways. One, accuracy. If it is anywhere below 90% accuracy where you're helping them 90% or 10% of the time or more, that's frustration. If your child is crying and struggling and hating it, that's frustration. Okay? You don't want to get there. And when you do, usually that day, you stop. With my kiddos, because it has happened, we stop, I grab a book, I read to them. I give them that emotional support, that closeness, and the next day we read something on the independent level. So we way back up, because now they need a boost of confidence. They need to know they can do this. It's okay. So I give them independent reading. After that, depending on how they are and how they responded to it, I go back to instructional reading level, which means not what I did yesterday, which was too hard. I go back to something that they can do, but with some help. And they just needed more practice with that before I moved on to the next lesson. So beware of those 3 different levels. 2 are 2 that you want. You want independent reading when it's appropriate and when they're able to. And once they're able to, start with 5 minutes and slowly increase it over time. Then you want instructional reading time, which is what they do with you for 20 minutes every day. You do not want frustrational reading. And when you find yourself there again, you just back up. Give them the support they need, give them the confidence by giving them something easy to read that's independent, a confidence booster, and they get back to the business of instructional reading with help and practice. So that is the different levels of reading.